Thank you.
Thanks, Mandy.
Join me in celebrating Mandy's release of her book launch. I know I am. Thank you all for coming. I'm Shannon Nishizaki, the owner of Orange Shack Publishing and the proud publisher of Mandy, and we're very proud to be releasing this book today on her birthday. Happy birthday. We're going to do a quick Q&A, and then we're going to do a reading with the special helper. Who's your special helper?
This is Haley.
Hi, Haley. So to interview Mandy, we're going to have Jenna. She's our one of our staff editors. And a lot of questions I think that would be really helpful. Some people want to know more about the writing process, more about Mandy, more about inspiration, what brought this book on. So we're going to answer those questions for you. And then after the reading, if you guys have more questions, you can certainly ask them too. All right, so without further ado, why don't you guys sit here? You guys can gather. Yes, you can sit.
All right. Let me know when you're ready for question number 1.
Go for it.
Okay, so our first question is, what inspired you to write I Know I Am?
It's semi-autobiographical, so it's based on some real struggles I had growing up, and it's the book that I wish I would have had, and that I'm glad that kids like Akana and Haley have, because it lets them know that they are enough just as they are.
Perfect, that's such a good message. All right, so then question 2, what advice would you give to any kids or adults who are struggling with body positivity?
To surround themselves with positive people, with like a great support system like I have, because you can lift yourself up while being lifted up by other people.
It's obvious you have a lot of loved ones to support you. All right, so then question 3, how has becoming a parent changed the way you think about self-esteem?
It's changed literally everything. I don't even know if he's here. Yeah, he's probably not here. But it's really reframed how I view myself, how I want to talk to him, how I want him to talk about himself. Because I don't want him to have the struggles that I had growing up.
So then question 4, do you have any parenting tips for how to talk to children about confidence and mental health?
Do I have parenting tips? No. In fact, if anyone has any for me, that would be great, especially as we enter the 14. But no, I think just building your child up, letting them know how wonderful they are, and actually meaning it, not just blowing smoke up orifices, but but letting them know why they're special, not just telling them that they are special, but giving them solid reasons so that they have something to fall back on, and just keeping the lines of communication open because we never know as parents if there are issues going on, if there is bullying going on, and just keeping those lines of communication so that your kids are comfortable enough coming to you with the hard stuff.
So the long story short is just try your best.
Yeah, because I have no idea what I'm doing still. I think he's okay. I mean, there's a little bit of twitching, but yeah.
Alright, so number 5, why do you think it is so critical for children's books to address topics like bullying and mental health?
Because they didn't before, and I see a difference from our generation to other generations. Our generation, we are riddled with mental health issues and body positivity issues because it's literally everywhere. Diet culture has permeated everything, in even social media nowadays. And to combat that with some kind of positivity and a positive message is absolutely necessary so that this next generation can be better than us, and so that they can prepare the generation after that.
That's a pretty good way to put it. Alright, so number 6, have you always had an interest in reading and writing?
Yes, I've always been that kind of nerd. I was the one that when I was 7, I wanted to be a librarian. That changed, obviously. But reading, writing, public speaking, all of those have always been my kind of thing.
Any particular favorite books growing up?
I read anything I could get my hands on, so Goosebumps, Babysitter's Club, Sweet Valley High, all of those. It's just such a great, heartwarming story.
All the classics? Alright, so then what did the process of writing this book look like for you?
So probably it was a little sickeningly too easy. I wrote it in my notes app on my phone, and I sent it to a couple of people. I sent it to my husband, I sent it to Melania, I sent it to you. Melania mentioned Orange Time, she's like, oh, this could be published. I'm like, yeah, no, whatever. And I sent it and got the email back from Shannon, and I was like, something that everyone's already heard today, shut up! Yeah, it's the thing. And I didn't think that we could make it happen, and thanks to my not so silent partner, who I don't even know where he is. But Dad?
No, I don't think he's in here.
Okay, well of course. He's the big reason why this happened. And we will be paying him back for a while as a result. But he made that happen, and then just like this great support system I have made it happen.
And of course, you wrote a great book and we loved it. Alright, so what is your best writing advice?
Write with your heart, write what you know. Don't overcomplicate things. This book had so many different forms in my head, but when I actually got it on paper, it was just best to keep it simple, because I think that allows the message to shine.
Sure. Alright, so what surprised you about the publishing process?
Probably a little bit of everything, because I had no idea what to expect. And I'm not just saying this because you guys are here, but Orange Hat made this really, really easy for me, and I very much appreciate that. So.
Well, we'd love to work on this project with you. Alright, so then the last question we have planned is, do you have any other books planned in your head?
No, but that can change tomorrow. I think we're good doing this once, and then we'll see where that goes from here. But let's get this book paid off first.
That's a good place to start. Yes. Alright, so then does anybody else have questions for Mandy about the book?
I have a suggestion.
Yeah.
I have always kind of followed you from afar. We met each other a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
But I will offer the suggestion that your next book be Mama Bear. Because I think you're a mama bear. And I'm a mama bear, and that's a good thing.
Am I a mama bear, Christian?
All right. And feel free to use my line, which is that all mothers think that their child is the best in the whole wide world, but I'm right. And you can use the line also.
Like it. Okay.
Alright, anybody else have anything?
It's okay if you don't, like, my face is melting off.
Alright, so then if that's all for questions, we'll move on to the reading of the book.
Alright? Thank you very much. Are you ready, ma'am? Alright. Alright, so what's the name of the book?
I know.
Alright. I put on my favorite purple shirt with polka dots this morning. I looked in the mirror and said to myself,
I am beautiful.
yes, you are. I gave Mom a kiss on the cheek and got out of the car before school. I waved to her as she drove off and said to myself,
I am loved.
my class went to my favorite place today, the library. I picked out a new chapter book and said to myself,
I am happy.
at recess, I walked up to the new girl and said hi, even though I was nervous. We played Foursquare with 2 other kids, and I said to myself,
I am brave.
we had a spelling test today. I studied hard, and before I started writing, I said to myself,
I am smart.
after lunch, I got in line next to some boys showing off their muscles. I flexed my arm and said to myself,
I am strong.
can you show me your muscle? They laughed and jiggled my arm. I held back my tears as they said to me,
You are best.
I told my parents I was too full of lunch to eat dinner. I I really wanted to eat, but I sat in my tub, poked at my tummy, and said to myself,
I am ugly.
the boys pointed and laughed at me the next morning. They called me names like pig, cow, and whale. So I said to myself,
I am hated.
the cafeteria had my favorite lunch today, but I didn't eat it so that I could get skinnier. As I put my lunch money back into my pocket, I said to myself,
I am fat.
a few days later, my brain got all fuzzy and my head hurt. Mom gave me some medicine, and when I went to lie down, I said to myself,
I am scared.
Dad went to put my laundry away and saw the lunch money I was hiding in my drawer. He yelled at me, and I said to myself,
I am stupid.
I went to the doctor, and he kept whispering the words overweight and diet, even though I could hear him. I put my head down and said to myself,
I am weak.
Mom and Dad sat me down one day and asked me how I felt. I was embarrassed to tell them that I felt.
Ugly, fat, hated, sad, scared, stupid, and weak.
When I started to cry and said these things to them out loud, they hugged me and said,
You are enough.
I went to a therapist who helped me remember all the good things about myself. Now I ignore the bullies and spend time with people who make me feel
Beautiful, loved, happy, brave, smart, and strong.
Sometimes I still have to remind myself of the things that make me happy. When I'm feeling sad, I write in my journal and say to myself,
I am enough. I know I am.
the end. Thank you very much.
Nice reading.
Can I also introduce the artist?
Yes, of course.
Illustrator here is Amy. She's here, so it's her How was the process of illustrating this book? It was good. Sorry to put you on the spot. But yeah, Amy's illustrated a couple books with us, and I thought that your style of art was perfect. And talk to me about how you guys had to go back and forth with some things like the skin tone and things like that. So how did that come about?
So at first the skin tone was a little darker, and because
Yeah.
this was autobiographical, I wanted it to be more of my skin tone. But Amy did a phenomenal job going off of real life pictures of my husband and my son and my parents. So it's actually really cool for me to have this this version of my mom on paper. And if you know or knew my mom, you knew that this is totally a face that she would make at my father. And you didn't even have any
No, I didn't.
But that's like totally what she would do to him. So it's really cool to have like this version of her. So thank you.
I'm glad I could do it for you. Did anyone else have any other questions?
I'm curious, from start to finish, how long from when you started typing it up on your notepad until tonight, how long was that?
Can you tell me what day you know? Yeah.
I can't look at the rolling video.
I want to say it was September 20 something, maybe ish.
September 17th, 2021, at 7:14 p.m.
So yes.
Very good.
Yeah, you got it in November.
Right there.
Yeah.
And I finished it in March.
Yep.
And the best way to support Mandy is to tell everyone about it, take pictures of the book on social media, and also write a review on Amazon.
Yes.
Even if you didn't buy it on Amazon, you still can write a review because that helps with her searchability with her book.
Awesome.
And use the hashtags that she's been using, so again, more searchability. But we're still here until 8, yes, if you want to buy a book.
Okay.
Otherwise, thank you all for coming.
And she might autograph it for you.
Yes, I will